All right, I think we're on part 4. So part 4 of the Welding Red Seal exam, and we're going to go over some questions, and I'm going to read them and then leave some space for you to say them out loud, and then I will let you know the answer. So let's start. In relation to GMAW, the normal electrode angle when you doing single pass 1F welds is 45 degrees to the joint angle. Steel with a carbon range of 0.3 to 0.45% carbon is medium carbon steel. How many tacks are required on a 6-inch or bigger pipe? 4 or more. So you gotta go all the way around it like a clock. 4. What rod should not be stored in a rod oven? Cellulosic. I may have said that wrong. On a 4-inch pipe or smaller, how many tacks are required? 3. What can excessive splatter and undercut of a weld beam be caused by? High current. What is the gap between a test plane 47.1 2G weld test? 5/16 or 8 millimeters. The measurement of how fast atoms are moving in relation to temperature. Molecular kinetic energy. Remember, kinetic learning is when you move around. Molecular connective is the relationship between how fast the atoms are moving in relation to the temperature. A blank flame is most commonly used flame because it adds nothing to the weld metal. Neutral. The purpose of the blank is to provide a steady and reliable supply of wire to the weld. Electrode feed unit. And blank flame has an excess of oxygen. Oxidizing. Resistance to the flow of electrons produces blank. Heat. Which of the following is true of backhand welding? Sorry, this is a statement. It has good bead visibility and makes welds with a deeper joint penetration. So the question would be, what has a good bead visibility and makes welds with deeper joint penetration? And the answer would be backhand welding. The gun is heavier and more difficult to use is what type of system? A pull type feed system. Is this true or false? The burning back of thin material allows the thicker metal to be melted in GMA spot welding. This is true. True or false? More ampage is required to melt the wire the faster it is fed. True. In semi-automatic or automatic processes, the welder is required to work harder because of the greater demands of travel speed and current. True or false? This is false. When metal is burned away, blank happens. Oxygen forms an iron oxide. This should be carefully touched occasionally to determine if it is hot. A work clamp. True or false? Today, oxyacetylene welding is frequently used on thick plate. False. If the tip's flame produces too much heat, you should lower the flame size. True or false? False. If a large cutting tip pops when the acetylene is turned off, what should you do? Turn the oxygen off first. The blank has a right and a left side. What type of joint has a right and a left side? A vertical T joint. Which of the following is true of making a proper stop? You should slightly taper down the molten weld pool by flashing the torch off. So that was just a statement. The strongest joints are obtained when the parts use lap or scarf joints, where the jointing areas is equal to blank times the thickness of the thinnest joint member. 3. Using excess flux in a joint may result in flux being trapped in the joint, weakening the joint or causing the joint to leak or fail. True or false? Using excess flux in the joint may result in the flux being trapped in the joint, weakening the joint, or causing the joint to leak or fail. True. Tin lead may be used for water or food handling equipment. True or false? Tin lead may be used for water or food handling equipment. True or false? False. What is the paste range of an alloy of 61.9% tin and 38.1% lead? The paste range? Oh, that's a tricky one. There's no paste range. Blank alloys have excellent wetting, flow, and strength characteristics, but are expensive. Cadmium silver. If cadmium is overheated, the fumes can be hazardous unless the area is properly ventilated. True or false? True. The size of a hose is the blank of the hose. The inside or outside diameter? Size of the hose. It's the inside diameter. In blank processing, the entire surface of the part can be covered with the filler metal at the same time that it is being jointed. Dip. Which of the following is true of soldering and brazing fluxes? True or false? They will remove light surface oxides. True. Tensile strength is not affected by the space between the parts being jointed. True or false? Tensile strength is not affected by the spacing between the parts being jointed. That is false. The compatibility of the base materials to the filler materials will determine the what? Corrosion resistance. Surfaces on worn parts are often built up again with brazed metal. True or false? True. Low carbon steels are difficult to cut. True or false? False. The application of filler metals which provide coating to protect the base metal from wear caused by impact, abrasion, erosion, or from other wear is called hard facing. A filler metal electrode that has been produced as a wire, strip, or bar with no coating or covering other than that in which the incidental to its manufacture or preservation. Bare electrode. All regulators work the same way. True or false? True. True or false? Welding shop owners have a high degree of skill and knowledge of small business management. True. Iron powder electrode that has soft arc and fast deposit rate. Fast fill electrode. Doing great, keep going. We're almost there for this one. A chemical reaction that releases energy into its surroundings where more energy is released than required to start the reaction. Exothermic reaction. Electrode that produces a snappy, deep penetrating arc and quickly solidifying weld metal. Fast freeze electrode. A potential charge of electricity at rest, such as a battery or other storage device, is electrostatic. Property of metal to resist various kinds of rapid alternating stress. This is its fatigue strength. Filler metal which extends above the surface of the joint member on the side of the joint on which the welding is done. Face reinforcement. Highly magnetic as is iron or is easily magnetized substance. Ferromagnetic. Might be saying that wrong. Part of the joint member in which is in full contact prior to welding. Faying surface. Any metal with iron as the major alloying element. Ferrous metal. Supplementary symbol indicated by triangular flag raising from the intersection of the arrow and reference line, which specifies the welding operation to be completed in the field at the location of final installation. This is a field weld symbol. Okay, last one for this group. Metal identification test in which a file is used to indicate the hardness of steel compared with that of the file. Dun, 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 dun. File test. Great job. Stay tuned for part 5.